Okay, it's a new day in the garage and we are getting down to the wire. We are down to the aftermarket gauges that got to be wired up. I know I got to add a few things to that. I think the plan, at least today, is to put in just the oil gauge, oil pressure gauge, get that in because that'll stop. I basically have an oil leak right here in the middle of the car because it runs actual oil in a little tiny brass line or copper line here into the dash, and if I start the engine right now it'll squirt engine oil straight into the car. So we're going to connect that gauge so we can have that buttoned up, then we can start this thing. I want to start it and I want to see if it's charging. If it's not charging, then we're going to have to address that. I think I'm going to have to run another wire from the alternator to the center console gauge, and I think I'm going to have to run another wire from the temperature sensor to the center console gauge. But we're getting really close, so let's get to work. Last night I went ahead and put the charger on the battery just to get that thing topped off. Looks like it's good and green and good to go. So we're going to get that disconnected. And yeah, I still got to deal with the horn. I don't know if I've got a working horn yet because my switch is not hooked up. So I got to work on that because then I can button up the air filter corner over here with my new air filter box, cold air box that I built in previous videos. If you saw my shorts series on that, if not, go back and check out my shorts playlist section. It's got a whole video section on how I built a cold air box for this. So yeah, over here inside we got to get the tachometer mounted up. That's the plan, and get that wired. Man, I think we are getting so close. I found my mount right here for the gauges. So technically I could put the gauges back under the dash. I don't have to put the console in. I don't think I want to put the console in just yet in case I need to access any of the wiring inside of here, like the VVS for the speedometer, in case I got to deal with that. But this originally was down over here long before I bought the car, but there should be mounting holes. Yep, 2 mounting holes right there, I think. Oh, nope, somebody used those holes for pop riveting in the mount for that, so may have to deal with that a little bit. Even if it just lays right here, that's fine, I don't care. And there's the line for the gauge, so I think we're going to go ahead and hook up the oil pressure gauge first. Let's do that. So we've now got the tachometer wired in, and I do believe that we've got all of our connections for that. This is our connector for the turn signal. I'm just got to verify. I believe that is my horn wire. I got to verify that. Gauge, oil pressure gauge is connected. I think we're ready to actually try starting this thing and checking to see if it charges. Yeah. We're going to go through this thing one circuit at a time and make sure everything's working. So, going to get the doors open and see if we can start this thing. Almost forgot to put the mass airflow sensor on. Not putting an air cleaner on. Again, we're just firing this thing up, but definitely need all the sensors on it. All right, let's give it a shot. Let's see if this sucker will start and if it'll charge. All right, wish me luck. First start with the new wiring. And nothing. And that's weird because we had the starter before. Why do we not have starter? Oh geez. And now the fun begins. Okay, figured it out. It was the neutral safety switch, and I didn't have the car in park because earlier I was testing the neutral safety switch. So let's give it a shot. Let's see if this thing starts, and let's test the voltage. It runs. Bitchin'. Well, it's the final thrash. If I can get this thing buttoned up and on the ground, it can go to the AC shop tomorrow. All it needs is a driver's seat, seat belt, steering wheel, front tire. I just want to take a quick second to say, if you like this content, please consider liking and subscribing and following along on this channel. I see that 98% of you are actually not subscribed. If you were to subscribe, it would really help me out and help move this channel forward. Thanks. Let's keep watching. Nothing left to do but to take her for a drive. I think I'm going to have to adjust that shifter where the switch is. Does not look like that temperature gauge works. It hasn't moved, not the slightest. possibly none of these gauges work. Tachometer's not working either. And no speedometer. Alright, so basically I got one working gauge. Jesus. Alright. We got a few things to work on. Wait. Oh, no, temperature gauge is moving. Okay. That's good. No speedometer though, we're gonna have to screw with that. But hey man, we rewired a car and it's running. I'll be dipped. Well, this was quite the journey to get to this point, you know. Cutting in the dashboard vents, rewiring the whole car, replacing the dashboard, rebuilding the gauges. Just wondering if the clock is working. And it's not. Alright. Well, on to tomorrow and get the AC charged. Well, it's all come down to this. Full rewire, AC installed, and now we're going to the AC shop to get this thing charged up, finalized, AC working. Wish me luck. Alright, it's time. Head to the AC shop on a wet day. Get this AC working. Oh, like 600 horsepower in the rain. It's not raining, but it is wet. Well, that was a bust. We did not get what we needed done. And that is because I had to order a new manifold for the compressor. So, no dice. It's been ordered. Be here in a week, I guess. And that's what it is. But we can go put this thing back together. Get the rest of the interior in, and then we'll get this thing charged up. So, not a total bust, but not what we were hoping for. I think since we're out, can't get the AC done, let's run through the car wash and at least get this thing cleaned off. She's a mess. Got to get the Chevelle clean. It's been a while sitting in the garage getting dusty while we've been doing all the AC. Get in that. Well, the day at the AC shop didn't work out, but the parts have been ordered and it'll take a little time for them to get here. In the meantime, we can put the rest of this thing back together, put the interior in, the back seat, passenger seat, and some other bits. Yeah, we got stuff to work on. We need to get the gauges working, the speedometer, tachometer, the gauges in the console. I think I'm going to have to add some wiring to that. Got the car turned around in the shop so we can work on the passenger side. So let's get to work.